Good morning, another founder in car, and today we will discuss motivation and discipline and what the difference is in achieving goals. So as mentioned, both suit a similar purpose, namely if you have motivation or discipline, you will have an additional tool to get things done. So you will be better suited to make things happen. And the thing is, they are quite similar, because if you have motivation, you are motivated to get to the next level. If people are not motivated, they say, I lack the motivation and therefore I'm not able to do so. The same is with discipline. Discipline gets you there, and oftentimes also in a steady state. So the difference between motivation and discipline is that it's hard to do in this roundabout. The car of choice here is the Suzuki Swift Sport. I see that you now get a very interesting angle. But the difference between motivation and discipline is that motivation goes like this. So it can differ from one time to the other. And also discipline can differ a little bit, but normally discipline stays at a quite stable level. And what the benefit therefore is for discipline is that it's not so much one day for another, but it will get you there on a consistent way. And a consistent way is of course preferable than to more of a cyclic way of getting things done. That being said, don't scoff motivation, because everything that will help you get closer to the goals that you want to reach should be embraced instead of put off. And the thing is, with motivation, you can work with it. So if you are motivated, really focus at getting things done and don't get distracted. That's a very big benefit. And if you're not motivated, then you can divulge a little bit more in things that are distracting you and not getting you ahead. So that could be one way. And the other way is that you can, with the motivation, once you have them, and then if you have positive experiences, you will be able to mold this motivation more and more into the discipline, so you can make it more and more consistent. Or in other ways, the peaks of the motivation are coming closer after each other, and the valleys will shrink, and then you have quite a lot more consistency, of course, and are closer to the level that is there with discipline. Discipline, it has a great benefit. So if you're not feeling well, discipline can still push you through. If you're tired, discipline will put you through. This is different with motivation, of course. Motivation is quite dependent on how you're feeling at that moment. But positive experiences will help you. Also, if you feel, for example, depressed, and you have had quite a lot of positive interactions, associations with doing the good things, this oftentimes will stimulate you then to still do it. You still feel depressed, but you think, if I do this, I might feel better. And that type of motivation, association, will help you get there as well. It's a little bit like discipline is more not so much emotion. Discipline is more like, I always do this, more like a routine. And that's extremely beneficial, because you take all the emotion out of it, and you just do it. You just get things done. But the motivation can have you interact with others on on a higher energy level. So therefore, as I mentioned, motivation should not be scoffed at. It's a very good tool. And you can also combine the two. So, for example, you will always do 20 push-ups, but if you feel motivated, you will do 10 more. Just an example. That's a good way. So you still have the benefits of regular exercise and building of the exercise, but once you feel motivated, you will get to the next level. And perhaps, for example, in this case, the motivation will then peak, and then 30 push-ups instead of 20. And perhaps after that, you are able to do 21 push-ups all the days with your discipline. And once you peak again, you perhaps do 35. Just some examples for you to consider. And both motivation and discipline, they have another tool that really helps, and that's drive. Drive is something that's driving you to push through and also get somewhere. For example, if you put a car in drive, it will move forward. And that's the same with people who are driven. Even if they don't like it, they will do it. Sometimes the drive comes from passion. Oftentimes it does, and then it's more of an emotional aspect, more like motivation does. So motivation, more emotions, and also more difference therein. So it can be valleys, but can also be peaks, and you should always get the peaks and get them as much as possible, and also take advantage thereof, so don't get distracted. Then discipline, which is extremely beneficial, because that will be every day your core. You will get things done with discipline, and motivation is more dependent on your emotion. And then you have drive, which can interact with both, and this a little bit, it will, regardless of the discipline and motivation, drive will put you forward. But you can of course stimulate drive, and then you have a stronger drive to do something. And also drive can be both a ratio that you think, okay, I should really do this, or you know that it's good for you and therefore you do things. It's oftentimes more the discipline, a routine type of approach, or it can be more passionate, so more emotional, and then you think, I have a drive to make the difference, left or right, or make an excellent product, because I think there's an unmet need and I really want to take care of that. And then it's more the emotional part. But those three tools are really there to make you excel a lot more and push you forward. Hope this helps. Founder in Car out.